Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Office Hours with Lanora. It is such a beautiful day outside, and although I'm not outside, I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to come before you today and talk about an area that is near and dear to my heart. Remember, first and foremost, that Office Hours with Lanora is an opportunity for prospective students to learn about what it will take for proper licensure and those requirements. Number two, how to go about passing that state and national exam on the first attempt. And number three, how to successfully transition into a career in real estate by becoming that professional and having more of a long-term career as you go throughout. This week, that area that's most important to me is the area of passion. And although we've talked more about the requirements and what it will take to successfully pass that exam on the first attempt, I wanted to visit this area because many of you are now doing just that, transitioning into the real estate professional itself. So for me, I'll tell you, my journey in real estate started some 15 and a half years ago. And although I had a full-time job, I would say at that time, I wanted to supplement my income with real estate. But when I thought about this subject, I realized that it was more than supplementing income for me. I can remember and recall when I attempted to purchase my first home and how that transaction did not go well for me. And ultimately, I walked away from the deal itself because of my experience with my real estate salesperson at the time, but broker now. That's where I learned that passion makes a difference. So no matter what career type you're in, specifically for this one in real estate, let's talk about what it will take for you to, if you haven't found it already, to be able to find it and to be able to use it effectively in a real estate career. So the very next thing I did was look up what the definition of passion is. According to Google and Webster, passion is a feeling of intense enthusiasm towards someone or something. In essence, it is the why. Why do I do this? Why am I getting involved in this? Why am I looking to begin a career in real estate? So if you have not already determined what your why is, that's a good place to start. Figure it out, because it will also help you stay in the career that you're choosing. I also wanted to learn about what it would take to gain passion, because not all of us know what that is right away. So for me, my passion wakes me up in the morning. I know that I want to be somewhere. I want to get some things accomplished. I have a checklist of what I want to get done. My energy, stimulates me throughout the day. So for those of you that don't know truly and specifically related to a career in real estate, I always take notes. I wrote down about 4 steps that I would like for you to visit. The first one is to ask yourself, what would you like to bring to a real estate career? Many times, again, and I did it myself, I hear people say, I want to supplement my income. That's when I'm going to ask you, related to passion, take money off the table. If you could be paid whatever that dollar amount is, the largest or the smallest, and we just take that off the table, what would be the next reason that you would want to have a career in real estate? Because if you can get to at least that first or second reason, 9 times out of 10, it's going to also help you be able to be successful in that particular thing. The second thing I would want you to do when determining your passion, learn it, grow it, then master it. Because if you take the time to learn, meaning in real estate, you want to educate yourself. You want to make sure that with the pre-licensing course, we open these and close these for a little while. Only because if you're listening more, you're probably going to retain more of that information. So once you've earned your license as well, you want to read. You want to always be reading about your craft, your trade. You also want to make sure that you're asking good questions of top producers in your office once you've earned that real estate license. And then once you grow, you master your craft, that energy has to stay there. You're constantly reinventing. You don't want to get stale, in a sense, in this industry because technology is changing every day. So you always want to make sure you're up on the top gadgets and those things that can help you be more efficient in your craft too. The next one would be, remember, as you become successful, eliminate distractions and frustrations. I'll be the first to tell you, not every transaction that I've done closed. Not every contract that I wrote ended up with a successful negotiation or the seller accepting that contract. But that frustration and distraction could not prevent me from helping my buyer or my seller at that time. This is an area where a lot of us who are not trained well in real estate will give up. I know here at the Realtors Real Estate School, we offer a class that can help, and it's called the Roadmap of a Transaction. So especially for my newer brokers, that's one class that I would definitely highlight and recommend, because what happens with the transaction when it falls off course? What do? How do you get back on course so that with your buyers and your sellers, you're getting to that closing table, you're shaking hands, keys are passing across the table, and it's a closed and successful transaction. Step number 4 would be repeat step number 1. Ask yourself daily, monthly, weekly, why are you doing this? What's that why? Because that why will, again, get you up in the morning. That why will make sure that even if you have that customer or that client that's not the most friendliest, that you still provide A1 customer service to them. The final things that I want to talk about when it comes to passion is how you promote it. Because remember, it's all energy. What you give out, you want to get back. So if your passion, like mine, wake you up in the morning, you're going to be bubbling with this enthusiasm. Try to maintain that and hone that in, because it can be considered annoying to some people, or it could be what attracts people to you. So if you're attracting those buyers and those sellers, because you don't necessarily have to have 500 closings or the best track record when it comes to publicity and having all of the bells and whistles with social media and all of those different types of accounts. But if people can reach your energy, they'll trust you. I remember I was showing a property in Harvey, Illinois to one of my buyers, and we were standing at the back of the house in the alley looking at just what was around the property. And another client, whom I didn't know was going to be a client at the time, drove up. And she asked me, she says, "Do you sell real estate?" And I looked at her and I was like, "I am a real estate professional. How can I help you?" But I also asked the permission of the client that I was serving at the time. Would it be okay, or can I just get a phone number to follow up with this person at a later time? But that passion and how I was attempting to show my buyer what to look for in that property, that person that was sitting in the car noticed that. And she wanted that to be something that I would do for other buyers when representing her property. And it ended up being 2 transactions that I closed for that person. So create that energy. Remember that your passion and your enthusiasm, it can also, on those days where you're not as excited, we don't want that to tank your professional career. We don't want it to be the image that you're portraying. So just make sure that you stay on task. Don't become arrogant with it, in a sense, because nobody likes that. Finally, passion doesn't arrive while you're waiting for it. It's an inspiration that strikes. So when it strikes, it's time for you to uncover it through your actions and your work. So you have to put the work in. Nobody's going to believe that you're great at what you do if you don't have the work to do it. If you don't have the proof to show, hey, pick me, pick me. It's just like, a game of dodgeball or something like that. You want to be on a specific team to win. Same thing. Your passion needs to get up every morning. It needs to last throughout the day. And at the end of the day, it should put you to sleep. I love what I do here for the Realtors Real Estate School. I wanted to divert a little bit from the norm where we talk about the requirements and all of those sorts of things because, I wanted to speak to the why. It is important that you like it. Some of us love it. And if you plan on being in this industry long term, that passion will show up every day. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Office Hours with Lanora. Remember to like, comment, and share this page. I will get back to the norm and we'll have more featured guests going forward in the future. And I also was thinking, if there's a subject that you would be interested in learning about, comment below and I'll try to fit those subjects in as well. I look forward to seeing you all real soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.